Hello, my name is Melanie Hinds. I'm your fastest Iraqi dinar summary on the net. I hope you had a good day. It is 5:44 p.m. is the time I'm recording this. And the biggest news out of Iraq that I broke this morning from my secret agent intel and Jack and Chad and Master Sergeant Scott, they all returned safely from their rounds, and Staff Sergeant Tom. So we are continuing to pray for you. Basically, the biggest news out of Iraq that Iraq has the fourth, well, actually, it was a BP contract that everybody's sending me about, and I broke that this morning. That was the first thing. I think it was 28 minutes in. I don't know, the timestamps are a thing of the past after we went to the farm, saw the horses, trained my puppy, took her to LL Bean to get her some socialization skills. So anyways, the biggest news was that BP evidently signed a contract. That means there's a rate in it. So everybody's waiting. Then SOMO came out with Iraq has the fourth largest proven oil reserves in the world, which obviously gives their currency value, plus the 162 tons of gold, right? And the other things that happened is they had a picture of the Iranian nuclear facility. There used to be a flag of the American flag and the Israel flag on the floor that they would stomp on. That's gone because evidently Trump sent a letter stating that they need to stop working with Hamas. So Trump is being hard on Iran. So we'll see what happens with that. And Iraq has all these other different plans in place to deal with all these different international. Signing the contract with BP, which is British Petroleum. Signing a contract is the first thing they've done in a long time with an international company, so we think it's really on the brink of happening. They did send me some other articles that once I translated, I couldn't see it. It just went blank, so I don't know what's going on. And then the other summary is, which is Mark Z said via PDK, we're still waiting for the Iraqi budget tables, and I hear they're working on those today. Many still believe there's a new rate hidden there. Yes, they were supposed to be having their 12th session of their parliament. Samson says article behind the scenes activity and expected U.S.-Iran agreement and a radical shift in the regional strategy. Again, Trump sent a letter to Iran. I broke that this morning. You can listen to my detail. You can look at my detailed timestamps, look at my live streams. I go live every morning at 9 a.m. Fun Lou did two different 1 and 2 of posts. It says there's still a lot of article content talking about foolishness like parallel markets, hoarding dinar, and corruption. They're saying this is a smokescreen as Iraq stalls for time to put together their digital dinar protocol. Installation is the very best, a 3-week job in Iraq. That translates into a 12-week job. Hoarded dinar is a ridiculous claim. I agree with Funlu. It says they have already claimed in writing that they have 70% of the 3-0 notes already claimed or already in-house if it doesn't pass the smell test. So parallel markets are a thing of the past. And I just had an article pop up. It definitely feels like Mercury retrograde and all of this. OMG, I can't get rid of this. What the flip is happening? Sorry, guys. So anyways, Fun Lou goes on. He thinks that's a ridiculous claim. Said, so parallel markets are hoarding and are thin excuses at best and deception at the worst. Guys, they're not going to tell you when this is going to happen. It's just, we're just going to wake up and it's going to be done. The second part said there are agreements and meetings about reinforcing laws to stop corruption with many nations, so we take that completely out of the excuse category. The truth is the training is going slowly and is incomplete at this time, and the hoarding is a weak-minded excuse for those with weak intellect. Get the electronic cross-border payments under control, and we will see the RI. So it depends on what you think. I know they're hoarding the timing of this. And then Militiaman says, we haven't heard anything about the oil running. It hasn't started through the Cayenne port yet. Salaries haven't been completely 100% sorted out. The 23-24 budget schedules haven't been exposed, and they haven't gone to the parliament yet. But now the parliament is pushing for that to happen. What are they waiting for? They're waiting for an exchange rate, guys. Everybody's waiting for this to happen. Frank26 says, article blessed by Tehran, a framework agreement to protect American interest and prohibit unilateral military support for Palestine. The main forces within the coordination framework reached an agreement to remove the Popular Mobilization Forces from the political file, in addition to merging all factions within the Popular Mobilization Forces Authority. The agreement stipulates that all PMF are subject to the orders of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces only, and that no party may act outside the framework of official military orders under any name or reason, noting that Tehran, which is the supporter of the Axis of Resistance, has supported this. Is this for real? Because if this is for real, we now have security and stability. Claire says, blessed by Trent. She's saying, she's also talking about the framework. She goes, the agreement also included refraining from attacking U.S. interest in Iraq and halting operations outside the country's borders. Wolverine makes it to my summary. It said, I received news from a group saying that payments are approved and it is literally on its way. This is our week, everyone. What do you think? Comment down below. What are you having for dinner? We're probably having salad with grilled chicken, some version of avocado and bacon. Mark Z says, I'm still hearing from different groups that they are still moving people and getting them into place, but there is a concerted effort to squash the leaks so it doesn't hurt the timing. And we all respect that. He respects that. And that's why I say, don't call the banks. Don't screw it up. Don't call the banks right now. And it says, we do not know the timing, but from the movement of people, things, we hear it's to be very close. Mountain Goat says, will cash paper dinar... Let's see, Mountain Goat is talking about the cash dinar. Guys, I always think they're going to be accepting it no matter when it happens. They will take your cash dinar, just like they would take a $100 bill if you take it into a bank today, even though most of the bank's transactions are digital. You get mostly direct deposit. I filed my taxes direct deposit. You get your Social Security, all that, most of it direct deposit. Some people still get checks. They still do cash and checks. We write checks for certain things. Just because we do. And I get checks from people. I receive checks, but it all goes into digital as soon as I do that mobile deposit or as soon as I take it to the bank and deposit it. The point is that it's the bank's jobs to transmit your cash and your checks into the digital dollars. Those digital dollars are already being processed here in America, and they're also being done in Iraq. Iraq has a lot of compliance of people taking their money and putting it into the bank because they get a better cash. They get a better return on their investment. They get more purchasing power other than their nominal rate that they've had for the past couple of years. So, guys, it's all transitioning. Do you believe it? Comment down below if you believe it, because you have to pray and believe it in. Let's see. Mountain Goat, here we go. Will cash paper dinar coincide with the digital dinar? It says, article, Rafidian Bank deploys aims at 5 stations in Baghdad. Why would they deploy yet? More ATMs now. Don't forget also the hundreds of ATMs deployed throughout Iraq in the past, and most of them by JP Morgan Chase. I think they have a 10-year contract with Iraq. Somebody can comment down below if they know any different. Why would they do this if you're still expecting to use cash at some level? Article quote, Rafidian Bank announced the deployment of automated teller machines at a number of stations, allowing customers to conduct withdrawals and deposits easily and safely. So now we see the ATMs would only be needed if there was still a need for cash. I don't agree with that. I really don't agree that the ATMs are only needed if there was a means for cash. These ATMs are supposed to be on the spot exchange rates. So if they have a publicly traded currency, they need to know what the rate is. Right? If they take dollars and put it in that ATM, it needs to have the new rate for the Iraqi dinar to know how many digital dinars you have. These are fancy ATMs. The whole new system is quantive. If you're trying to talk about apples and oranges, apples is the old Swiss system that they've moved away from. They've said it. They've trained people on it. Even the auditors are there to train that system to make sure it can be done in multiple currencies. The old system wasn't like that. This is a new system. It's a blockchain system that is being put in Iraq because all the articles have said that they have the most up-to-date system, which makes them secure and stable. They also went to Tunisia because evidently there was some kind of trial there. They also represented their system at the embassy in Turkey. Turkey has 78 million people. Iraq has 48 million. Guys, I think getting people compliant to the system, they said there's going to have biometric voting, that when they did the census, they did the cheek swabs. Guys, this is a system that nobody's seen before, and it's already there in Iraq. That's why they're secure and stable amidst all the chaos around them. Other people are saying, oh, there was going to be, all this problems. I don't think so. I think Iraq is the stabilizing force in the Middle East right now. What do you think? They have secure borders. The military's there. There was an article this morning that they got rid of more people that were causing trouble. More people were killed that were doing ISIS. There's more people being prosecuted for those things. Guys, the system is the key to everything, and that's the best I can do for a summary in a few minutes, especially because I was getting calls and I just ignored them. I get so many distractions. So guys, I hope you will subscribe, tap the bell, comment down below, give me something positive to say, like what you're having for dinner, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. And I will have my next Margaritas and Manifestations Friday night. Let's hope this is done by then. So I love you all. May the peace of Christ always rule and reign in your life, and may you appreciate this summary And I hope you have a good night. Bye.